hold on. So let me go back down to this.
Talk. I got something.
You got some?
I got feed, but nothing. I got something. There we go. There we go. We got feed.
So hold on. Let me try this real quick then.
We got feed.
You got some?
I can hear somebody.
Yep.
So what'd you change? There we go. There we go. We got feed.
So hold on. Let me try this real quick then. So that's working.
But look, it still says 0 people in the thing, but yet surprise home, it's there.
I will stay off and I'll stay on this and try to feedback. I'll try to listen. It's gonna be a
And
delay.
all right. So now let me try the Zoom with Jamie. If Jason will stay on YouTube, yeah.
I'll stay on YouTube.
Why can't he stay on YouTube?
No, Brandon can, but in order for me to do Zoom, I have to get off of YouTube to do it with them.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Let's host video
We're
on.
about a 20-second delay.
All right, but you can hear us now, right?
Well, there's going. I have it set up for a delay, so that's normal.
Is there a reason you do delay?
It always does delay.
I can put my earbuds in to silence this and listen to my phone, and then if I have to comment, I can listen to it'll just be delayed. So what I can do, I'll do that.
But I don't know if I have sound still. Do I have sound still?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay.
I'll do that. I'll put my earbud to silence this so I can hear you guys, but it's going to be on like 10, 15 second delay.
All right.
There.
Because
There you go.
in order for me to, I have to have all this plugged in order for it to work through this, or else it's pointless.
Right.
To here.
That's what it was,
What?
Brandon. Whatever you just connected, it disconnected me.
So
It
can
was
you hear
my
me now?
Bluetooth.
Should be able to hear me still. Here.
Nope. Hold on. That's what it was.
Microphone. There. Now can you hear me? So can you hear me now? So should be able
Yep.
to hear me still. So okay, but I'm not on Zoom talking to anybody yet. So but you can hear me though. Okay. Now can you hear me? Now. So should be able to go to this. So okay, but I'm not on Zoom talking to anybody yet. So but you can hear me there. Okay. Now, so go to this. So okay, but I'm not on Zoom talking to anybody yet. Now I can hear me on YouTube. So but you can hear me there. Okay. It probably was just YouTube.
Yep, 'cause I can hear you on Zoom.
You're good. So if you want to do a
Now I
quick
can hear
15-minute
YouTube.
and then maybe run
So
over a
can
little
you
bit.
hear Jamie though?
Well, I gotta talk soft so that way you can hear
Probably
me.
was just YouTube.
I
Don't
can
want to
barely
echo.
hear it, but I can hear.
Well, I'm whispering.
I can hear. Yep, I got you. You're good.
Yeah.
If you want to get
So,
Evan in real quick.
All right. Hey,
Well,
this should work.
first, before we call Evan back, let's make sure everybody can hear us on YouTube.
Yeah, I can
wanna
barely
echo
hear it,
here
but I
on
can
Zoom.
hear. I can hear a scratchy voice. I got it. Everything's loud and clear.
And then hopefully people will start coming back on because we lost half of our audience, or 2/3 of our audience.
Okay. Right. Disconnect, bro.
Shh.
Criminy.
Okay, so this is where I run into the issue. This is what it does, and then I have to switch it, and then we're not
getting
going to
it.
have audio.
We're getting it. They're coming back.
Yeah, but I won't be able to do it.
No, not YouTube, not the live. Zoom.
Is it doing that?
It's getting feedbacks.
We
from
were having
something.
that issue earlier.
So no, I don't know why it's doing.
I mean, it's a kind of cool.
Oh, we've seen it.
Star Wars effect.
Okay.
Can we get them on FaceTime?
It don't matter. Whatever I have to feed the signal to here in order for it to play on YouTube. I don't know what PVW means. That must be preview. So can you still hear? Is in a galaxy far, far away.
Right. You gotta get the sound effects in.
Yeah, I don't know.
We almost need to do a quick live.
You know what? Let me try this. Maybe I don't have to do anything at all.
Hi everyone. We're live. We're having technical difficulties.
Okay, so I have to be able to feed the signal into this, or else he's just going to see just me on the camera.
Everybody's like, "Wow, we're doing a Star Trek."
Right? What do you mean by that? You're not going to see Evan, you mean?
No,
We do sound at all?
we will be able to see Evan because I can switch it like that. Okay, but you won't be able to see Evan.
Who won't? You mean
Or,
here?
or Evan won't be able to see you.
Okay.
He's just going to see just me
How come?
because the only camera we have is that one right there.
I got you.
He
Well, I
doesn't
mean, I
have
can
it.
see me in the corner there.
But it's a multi-boost, so it's just the main computer which is attached to the Zoom because those aren't branched off.
Scoot closer, act like you love each other.
Get on over there, Don. Give him a hug.
I'll sit on his lap. Open that crown.
But
Here you go. You just shot at it. There you go. You what's up?
This sounds like a conversation.
I brought it for everybody to share.
all right,
Brandon needs a refill.
you guys are going to get an extra long one today
Yeah.
because it's already 7:00.
Yeah, well, they're getting more show for the money.
That's right.
It's still daylight out.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, holy shit.
It's definitely daylight out in California, I can tell you that.
Where's that from? We didn't get to that part.
Well, we
He's
didn't
from
get to anything.
California.
Really?
Yeah.
So I copy, and then I go to here. I can re-invite him if he wants to do it.
Well, let me see what he's got
Well-
going on. I mean, if it'll work, I'm sure.
It'll work, and I can fix or try to fix it later. But yeah,
What do you mean fix it?
so that way he can see all of us instead of just me.
Okay, so it's not going to be that camera. It's going to be that camera.
Yeah, it's going to be this camera for just him.
That's fine.
Everyone else on YouTube and everything is going to see everything. on the YouTuber.
So, would it be better not to have a computer that don't, or you can shut the web camera off on that and sub that out?
No.
So do you want me to ask Evan or no?
Yeah. I'm going to send him a link.
He's got half the day ahead of him. If
That's
he's
right.
in California.
Do I need to try to get another one of those webcams from work?
No.
No, if not, I got one in the drawer he can have because I'm not going to ever use it again.
Ever again.
Ever again.
Just left to pick up my little girl from daycare.
All right. Well,
All right, well.
if he can do it next week, we'll get him on.
Well, we can talk about the small things real quick, like the ins and out. Like share a picture of the car.
No. I can't unless I
So
turn
what we
everything
can do
off.
is we can talk about the car show.
There you go.
Yep, we can talk about
Don't
the car
have a
show.
trophy, do you?
I mean, a lot of our audience watches our car show or what's seen all my pictures I dumped on Facebook, so we could do that.
Yep. I need more Jack. Hi
Here.
caramba.
He says he can do it tomorrow. It would be better for the next week.
All right.
Wow, that sounds like a commercial.
All right.
You want a shot, Don?
All right, everybody. So now that you got to see a lot of behind the scenes of me screwing up,
No, that was a lot of YouTube too.
There was something going on there. We don't know what it was. But hopefully you all can hear us now.
Yep.
And you know what? Welcome back. Thank you for hanging around and
Yes.
putting up with our bullshit. But
Yep.
it is what it is, and sometimes technical difficulties occur.
well, it's like putting a new engine combo together, and you never took it to the track yet. So whenever you take down the track the first couple of 500 times, you're just ironing everything out.
Exactly.
I have to take a beer, bitch? I thought you said you wanted more.
I'm just going to drink it straight now. I don't care anymore.
Savage.
You want to make a little bit of extra flavor to that?
I'm going to.
There you go.
What is that?
I don't know. It's got vitamins in it. So
Energy drink.
Just put a little dab.
Okay.
There you go.
all right,
Please, bro.
I'm doing this.
Good.
All right. Hopefully everybody is not getting attacked by this weather.
We had a nasty, nasty lightning storm here in our area today. Actually, right before we went live. And apparently the lightning struck my son and his wife Jamie's house today. Well, not the actual house, but in their front yard, and it tripped everything. So now I think my son's got it figured out finally, but it took a minute only because we didn't know the lightning had destroyed popped the routers, what it did. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So sorry, Evan, if you're going to watch this later or you're watching now. Sorry, Evan. We wanted to have you on.
Evan's going to try to do it tomorrow night, guys.
So
So we may go live tomorrow night.
We may go live tomorrow night. Also, I'm going to try to do it so that way you can just do it from Zoom. So I'm going to have to give you this camera so you can take it to the shop.
Okay.
If not, we can try a recording.
I don't have a microphone at the shop either, so I'm going to have to do something about that too. I really need to get into the 21st century.
Yeah, yes, you do.
I don't use my computer except for anything but business.
And porn.
No, none of that. That messes up your computer. I learned that a long time ago.
That's right.
But anyways, so what we'll do is I'm going to have to come back out here tomorrow night, I guess, and we'll try to do it.
That's all right. 2 nights are better than one, right?
Yeah. yeah.
You get double. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Double. So, unfortunately, things didn't go as planned this evening, and and it's kind of a letdown for you guys that came to see what Evan's combo was all about and talk to Evan. But maybe tomorrow night. So
Yes.
let's hope that we can.
Well,
make
tomorrow
it
night
happen.
we'll dig deep with Evan. Maybe if he has the time, we can squeeze an extra half hour out of him.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he'll hang around as long as we want to. So,
Yep.
but yeah, well,
But let's talk about the car show.
yeah. So, what did you think of the car show, son?
Well, I thought it was a good turnout for one.
Yeah.
They had 800 cars in the show. It was a huge show
Yep.
They crammed a lot of cars.
in a little area.
There was a lot of nice cars there. A lot of great people there. I got to meet what was her name? The owner of the Taco Bells?
Oh, don't ask me that. I don't
Amazing
remember.
car, though.
Yeah,
Yes.
her car was awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very custom that you couldn't even tell.
She's got 3, I call them Super Bowl rings, but that show is an ISCA show, which stands for International Show Car Association. And so to get these rings that look, I'm not kidding you, they look like Super Bowl
Yeah.
rings. They're about that big around, and they're all diamonds.
Yep.
And they've got 3 of these. Now, these people travel the country showing their cars that they have built.
And they drove what? California.
Yeah, they came from California. Their truck broke down on them on the way here, and they had to rent a truck, and they were having a heck of a time. And fortunately, it happened like on Tuesday last week in the show. You have to be there by Wednesday.
Yep.
So they had to drive through the night. Now, this couple is probably 80 years old.
82 and 80.
Is that what I heard?
Yep.
Yeah, so they're 80 years old. Now, mind you, they drove all night, and they set this display up all by themselves, and they've got an absolute beautiful root beer colored 1957 custom Plymouth convertible.
Yep.
That was just over the top nice. And,
One off wheels from Chip Foose.
and they actually, that car won them a point. You have to have 4 points to get into the finals in the ISCA, and I think they gained a point in this show. So I don't know if they got any more, but I did ask them before they left if they got a point for this show, and they did. And but anyhow, their cars are just like freaking over the top. We're talking, $3 to $5 million bills. These things are not your average build that you see at a local car show. I mean, this thing is way over the top.
Yeah, so it is a trailer queen. I don't even know if
Oh.
the motor's even been started.
No. That underneath was polished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can eat off the bottom of it.
Oh, you could shave off the frame. I mean, the frame was so shiny you could
The,
shave off
the
of
muffler was mirrored. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of chrome under that car. Plus,
Yes.
the bottom car was as nice as the top of the car.
Yep.
So, anyways, they were there and they did it. They presented very, very well. They were like probably about 5 or 6 spaces away from us.
Yeah. Great people.
nice.
Very down to earth people.
Yeah, and we weren't. My car that we took this year, I'm thankful that we had a car to take this year, was not supposed to go to the show. That purple Challenger that we've been building, well, both of them are purple.
Yep.
The plum crazy purple one that we are finishing up right now, we ended up, it's at interior shop, which, that stuff happens. Delays happen, and it is what it is. I bought the spot for the show in October, anticipating that we would have the car done by March. Well, things happen, and it just worked out the way it worked out. Nobody's fault. It just happens. So, anyways, because of that, I ended up having to take another customer of mine's car, Mr. John Hollendonner, and he's got a 71 Challenger as well. Now, we built that car about 17 years ago, Brandon and I, the Brandon that works for me. And we was fortunate enough that it fell into our lap about the time that it needed to be. We actually got it 2 months ago because we got it back. I've been putting it off for about a year and a half because he had an insurance claim where somebody took a spud bar, shoved it through the side of his garage, and banged up the whole side of the car with a spud bar. So his insurance company paid to have that thing fixed. And of course, we have to fix it because we custom blend that paint. That you cannot go anywhere else and get that paint code. It doesn't exist. That is a DCI paint code. And so we got the car back, and unfortunately I had to put him off for about almost a year and a half to get it in our shop to get it fixed. But it fell in line right perfectly. All the stars lined up and everything for us to take that car after we completed the painting on it, and then we upgraded a few things on it. We changed the glass, we polished the chrome, replaced the marker lights, and a whole bunch of stuff. We actually updated the car for John Hollendonner, and it worked out really, really well.
Yep.
And it showed well. And we ended up second with in our class, there was probably about 190 cars. So I consider that a win. And this is honest to God true. Some of you guys, and you know what? Thank you guys that stopped by and said hello to us whenever we were there.
Yep.
We got to meet a lot of you guys that are hanging out with us on YouTube and that watch us on Facebook. But anyways, where was I going with this?
190 cars.
Yeah. So the judges, there were 5 judges, and they kept going from our car to the other car that won first, back to our car.
So what car won first?
I don't know because I didn't see. I told Brandon, I said, one of us needs to follow them, see where they're going.
Yeah.
So we know we're competing against.
Right.
Because it was quite obvious we were going to be first or second.
Because I would say really nice builds. There was probably 10 cars there that I would consider really nice builds.
No, there was probably 50 maybe. There was probably 50 really, really nice cars in various classes.
Yeah, but
we had all the ISCA cars. You know, those were like that Corvette was on the turntable, and that real nice 58 Oldsmobile, and there was some over the top ISCA cars, and of course we were going to show the other challenger, John Eprick's car, as an ISCA contender, and because that car is as nice underneath as it is on top, just like the cars we would have been competing against. And that, of course, didn't happen. But anyways, where I'm going with that is that I'm glad in a way that we didn't end up in that class because the cars that were there this year were like way over the top cars. They're like that gal from California.
Yeah.
You know, so there was probably, I think there was at least 10 or 15 of those cars there.
Yeah, and those are the cars I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and what I had to do is I had to move down a class. I went from the show only class to the driven class. And whenever I went to the driven class, then it put us in with a ton of cars. And they had to, it was so big that they had to break it up in groups. They had to go from like 55 to 59 and 60 to 64 and 64 to 67 and then 67 and 8 only. They had, for some reason, I don't know why they did that, but they had it for some reason divided up that way. And then our class was 70 to 79. And there was, I think in the 70 to 79 class, there was about 190 cars in that category that we competed against.
And probably a lot of them Chrysler, because there's a lot of Chryslers there this year.
Yes, there was.
Down in the basement there was, they had a bunch of them.
There was a lot of older down there. I mean, gurus like us, we get into that, but the wife was like, no, this is not my... Now the boy was like, this is amazing, because they'd never seen that many cars in one place.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a big show. And
Huge
really
show.
nice show.
Yep.
Well, is it right that this might be the last year?
No, not this year. Next year, they're saying it might be last year, and because they have already picked the date, and it's this weekend. This weekend again next year. At 27th through the 29th. This year it was 28th through the 30th. Or whatever it was. But yeah. So, anyways, I thought we did really, really well. We kept the hood at half mast because we didn't want them to see under the hood because it's dirty back in the nooks and crannies. We didn't tear that car apart to get it ready for the show. We just we took some of it apart, but we couldn't get back in all the nooks and crannies and make it fresh looking like we would like to for a show like that. And I think if we would have been able to do that, I think that we would have won first.
It was dusty there too. We noticed it on a lot of
cars. Yeah.
We
Well,
noticed
the
that
dust isn't a
ducks-
problem. You can wipe that off. I'm talking about it was dirty from driving. No, my customer, John Hollandar, drives his car, and he even takes it to the grocery store. He says it's kind of scary because that color, it attracts people like flies to...
A light.
Yeah, yeah, the light.
Yeah.
Anyway, so whenever he takes that car out, he draws a crowd, and I think that for him taking to the grocery store is kind of crazy. I would not leave that car sit in the parking lot, but he does it all the time, and it showed. I mean, that car's, like I said, we hadn't done that. We did that car 17 years ago, and it had some door dings and some parking lot rashes on it. So
Yeah, but you know what? You build them to drive them.
he does. He drives that car. I mean, and so it doesn't sit. And that's pretty cool. And it's got a 440 in it with a tri-power or 6-pack, whatever Chrysler calls them.
Jason, can you hit the camera again, please?
And so we, it's a pretty decent running engine. It's got Edelbrock heads on it. We ported the heads, and it makes roughly about 520 horsepower. So, and about 540, 550 foot-pounds of torque. And it's fun to drive. I mean, that thing, it's got a TKO 600 5-speed in it. And I think it's got a 411 gear in it, or 410 gear in it. It's got an 8 3/4 rear end in it.
I don't understand how anyone would want to mess with that car because John's a great guy. He's a teddy bear, but he's a big guy.
Thank God he's a teddy bear. This guy is like almost 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
He's a monster. He's so big that we had to make special seat brackets for his seat.
Yep.
And it's against the back seat.
Yep.
The back of his seat is that he sits in is against the back seat.
Yep.
That's how tall he is.
And my dad has to drive the car with Garfield hugging him.
He's got this big Garfield stuffed animal, and he's just the right amount thickness. So he got just big enough belly that if I put him behind me, I can reach the pedals.
Yep. So every time my dad test drives, it looks like Garfield's just hugging him like this.
You guys need to get a picture of that. We'll put that on the internet.
Yep. But yeah, no, that has the pistol grip shifter on it, and it's a 5-speed.
Yep.
And I mean, for a driver, that car is a beautiful car.
Oh, it's over the top beautiful. Especially after we got to he allowed us to put new glass in it this year, and we put the tinted glass in it. So that to me made it over the top. That car is beautiful sitting there, and especially when the sun starts to come down. We had it sitting behind the shop before the show. It just looked gorgeous out in the sun.
Yep, I will tell you there was 2 different questions, but Jason wants to say something first, I think. About I thought you were going to read
I'm just reading some comments, so.
I thought you were going to read John Monin's comment.
Yeah, John Monin said, does it have the don't touch this car unless you're nude black? Well, we need that.
Unless you're what?
Unless you're nude.
Oh.
So.
But you know what? I'll be honest with you. The girls, I think that they would have taken their clothes off for that car. The girls absolutely love that car.
No, that's the perfect purple.
Oh, the women, they just stand there and stare at it.
Yep.
It's funny. You watch them walk by the car at the car show, and the guys are going, yeah, it's pretty nice. And the girls are going,
Oh, yeah. Some even stop and they go, look, it matches my nails. Or
Yeah, right.
I've seen a few of them with the thumbs out.
I thought the girls were looking at me. I really did.
Oh, wow.
Is your wife watching tonight?
I already knew that was a no.
No, but the girls do love that car.
I like that purple. It's definitely.
But the top 2 questions that I got whenever I was there for just one day was, what color is that purple? And is this the car that your dad's been working on?
Yeah. We had a lot of YouTubers and Facebook people at the show, and thank you all for stopping by and saying hello. That was awesome.
Yep.
But yeah, he's right. I mean, you know what? They thought it was the other Challenger, and it wasn't. It's a way darker purple, so I guess I can see it getting mixed up with the other one. But the other one, we got a shaker hood on. This one's just got the scooped hood on it. The other one has a black stripe on it. This one doesn't have a stripe on it.
Yep.
So,
well, I also think that you've only been teasing the other Challenger, though.
I've been putting some pretty good pictures on there, but I haven't done a photo dump yet on that.
Yeah.
I think we'll have to do a show on just that.
Yeah.
I seen it unfinished with no glass, and
That
the
car's
paint
beautiful.
is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody can touch it right now because
that it's absolutely gorgeous car, and I mean it's a big dollar bill, but it turned out really nice.
And that's a big dollar bill. But imagine what that Chrysler cost.
right.
Oh, that's what I said. Those cars are $1 million cars. I mean, every one of those are a couple $1 million cars, and so we would be competing with the other purple Challenger against $1 million vehicles, and it didn't cost that much to build that one.
Right.
So, but and honestly, we didn't build it for that. The guy that we're building that car for, he's going to drive that one. I think he's a fool for the amount of money he's got in that one. Even
No, I would be trailer queen.
I'd be putting ceramic on the paint
well, we're going to do that. We're going to put ceramic on the paint.
because
Well, I seen it. No interior, no glass, and it looked perfect.
Oh yeah, it's that one's got tinted glass in it too.
and I also think the biggest difference on that one too would be the full frame on the newer one that you're working on.
The other one was a Pro Touring car.
Yeah.
The one that we showed is a Resto mod.
Yeah.
And for you guys that don't know the difference, Pro Touring car is when you put an aftermarket frame underneath of them. Resto mod is when you use the factory suspension and you modify it to improve it.
Yeah, because I think you put a K member and then trailing arms on it, right?
Yeah, we did. The one that we showed is pretty cool. It's got NASCAR trailing arms underneath of it. It's what my son's talking about with coilover shocks. And man, that just made all the difference in the way that car rode and handles. And the other thing we did too, we used Magnum Force tubular K member on that thing with the power rack and pinion steering, and that made a huge difference.
Oh
too.
yeah,
because not picking on Chryslers. I know we got a lot of Chrysler fans, but they handle like three-legged camels in factory form. I mean, they just do not handle well. They don't have a frame; it's all sheet metal.
Yep.
And the cars just,
and thin sheet metal.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing offense, but why does Chrysler make things bigger?
Bigger?
Their body. They do.
Oh, I mean, they got some. I love the looks of Chrysler.
I do, but
I love the look of those cars, and I
it's
love
weight if they want the horsepower, though.
I love the Hemi, but you know what? They did what they did to get the car weight down.
Right.
They wanted to be competitive, and the best way to be competitive is get rid of weight. It's easy to do that. It's hard to make horsepower. So I'm picking on the Mopar guys now.
No, you got to. You got to pick on anybody. I mean,
everybody thinks that the Pontiacs are the stepchild, but I think it's the Mopar. Them guys, they all have 2,900-pound cars competing against 3,900-pound cars.
Yeah, well, those guys, I will say, have bigger balls than a lot of other people because
they're trying to get more power out.
Well, those cars would twist, and they would, if you crash them, oh man.
But that ain't why they got more balls. The reason they got more balls, they got drum brakes and no frame.
Well, that too.
You got to be nuts to drive a car like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? It's a suicide machine.
Yeah. Oh, good God. That would, whew.
Yeah. So at least GM cars, even the unibody cars, got a front frame on them.
Right.
I mean, your car's got sheet metal frame rails in the back.
Right.
It's got a frame under the front.
Yeah.
So, and you can back into another car, I guess, but
yeah.
Most of the time you're going to hit head on.
Right. I mean, if someone rear ends me, it's going to really upset me.
Yeah.
Old School Twist said, I thought the difference between Resto Mod and Pro Touring was about 80K.
No, more like about 580K. It's a huge difference.
Yeah, you guys are still get the commercials, so we're running over a little bit. So they're going to throw some commercials on there.
Oh,
That's YouTube, so.
you know what? Maybe we need to do a 2-hour YouTube because.
Yeah, we'll do a special or something like that.
Well, not only that, I don't think we're getting our commercials like we should.
Well, I turn monetization off for live.
Say that again for
I
me.
turn off the monetization.
Monetization.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said.
I turn off the shit that makes us money.
I like that answer better. Good
There you
job.
go. Well, we better turn it on. Let's go.
So, but yeah, there's a huge difference between a resto mod and a pro touring car. Resto mods, typically you can do one of those for about $150,000, maybe, 150 to 200. Where a pro touring car, man, you just get your wallet out and close your eyes because you're going to get bent over. Well, it's not bent over. I shouldn't say bent over. You're going to have to pay for the time. It takes a lot of
Open
effort.
the wallet.
Yeah, you got to
Well,
open that
I mean,
wallet.
yeah, but you really have to have an appreciation for cars.
Yeah.
That's like,
Jay Leno.
You know what though, son? The thing of it is right now is the absolute best time in history for this type of vehicle, pro touring, resto mod, classic cars. And the reason is think about it. The guys that can afford these things now, because they're all expensive anymore, they've been around since the 1950s and 60s. These guys are between 45 and 90 years old. So they've experienced the classic style of a muscle car or the old classic cars and the new technology that comes on the new cars with fuel injection and air conditioning and power windows. And because let's face it, back in the day, those cars didn't come with all that stuff. And so today, because that generation has experienced both, they want to combine them both now. And that's why the resto mod and pro touring is so popular right now. And we want to drive our cars. We just talked about that. We don't want to make them knickknacks. You do a concourse restoration on a 1969 GTO or a 1970 Chevelle Super Sport or whatever. It doesn't matter what you do it on. If you do a concourse, what does it do? It turns into a freaking giant knickknack, and you don't even drive the damn thing. And it looks like 20 others when you go to the show that have all been concourse restored. Pro touring and resto mod, you can extend your personality, which is exactly what the cars used to do when we were growing up. Me, especially, not so much you, but yeah, for me,
I had Honda Civics.
Yeah, you were into race burners.
Well, Fast and Furious.
Thank God my son changed.
Yeah,
he was into those Jap cars.
Well, the reason why is because they were cheap.
They were cheap and they're easy to fix. I mean,
yeah, but the thing of it is, they got no balls unless you put big giant turbos on them.
No.
Well, at that point though, I didn't care about like horsepower. I just wanted to look cool.
Oh, well, you had a really cool car. Remember that '66 Catalina?
I do.
But here's the thing.
Jamie hated
You'd
that
be
car.
styling right now.
I know.
You
Big
live
pimpin'.
once and you do it. You just get what you want and drive it.
So, but anyways, because of what's going on with the this generation, that's and they got disposable income, so they have the money to build these cars, and so we couldn't be. This is the best time in history, and it's going to be good for another 25, 30 years. And I get guys that argue with me about that, but I'm telling you right now, I do car inspections and appraisals too, and I'm going out and looking at cars. 1967 Camaros, 1965 GTOs, 1970 Chevelle Super Sports for guys that are 85 to 100 years old. And I ask them when I'm talking to them on the phone, they said, we can't take our money with us. We're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we couldn't be at a better time in history. Which I'm glad. I mean, you know what? It's good for my business.
Well, yeah. I mean, but I think the age range is like more like 55 to 90, not 45.
Nope. That McKinty that we're doing the Two Guys Garage. 40 years old.
Well, he's rare.
How old do you think Evan is?
Well, he's, what?
He's probably 45.
No,
Late 30s.
40.
He's in his 30s, I
Yeah,
think.
late
Yeah.
30s.
So
But
I'm
you
telling
have
you.
the rare people that were raised that way. You know.
Well, you guys are into the cars.
Yeah, but you got to have that blood, that breed that appreciates.
And we
this
do.
stuff.
But I mean, you got to have that breed if you're 80 or 90
right.
too.
But now you got certain generations, they die off.
Well, I think it's going to be good for another 25, 30 years for sure. Absolutely, without a doubt in my mind. And I got a good thumb on that because what I do for a living.
Right.
You know.
Which.
Yeah, but I
some-
just don't see a lot of 40-year-olds having the money to build a car.
Well, right now the 40-year-olds don't.
Well, they do. They just spend the money. I mean,
Well, no,
look
they're
at my 21-year-old. He's got the money. He's just.
well that and they're raising families and buying houses and paying for college and all that kind of happy stuff. So you know what, that takes precedent before you start building a hot rod.
No, right. But
I mean,
it wasn't like
clearly-
back in the day. Would you rather build your hot rod or buy a house?
Oh, absolutely. I would much rather build a hot rod.
I mean, you can see that I poured a lot of money into this thing.
That's a beautiful specimen of a
Yeah,
67 Firebird.
I agree.
It just
It needs a lot more of my hard-earned money.
well, then you better get busy and work some overtime.
Oh,
Or-
we're trying.
Or get that side thing going a little bit better.
Yep. Well, that's
But first,
my
before
goal.
you do that, you guys got to put together a race car. As soon as I get that engine done, we're going
Yeah,
racing this year.
we got to get a plan on that. That's the next thing. Because wife and the boy, I told them they got excited
Oh yeah, good.
because
That's
they
awesome.
want to be part of the videotape and getting this thing together.
Yeah. You know,
Well, they do know that the working on the car requires a certain dress code.
Well, we could get Aiden to crawl in the crevices now. The wives, that's a different story.
you're gonna have goggles and a face mask.
Well, we'll have the beer goggles on.
That's right.
Hey, now wait a minute.
Not for the not.
Yeah, I'm gonna say one of us
We'll
is
get
gonna
the
be
drip-
getting in that car. We gotta make sure it's safe.
It'll be
Perfectly
safe.
safe.
Oh, okay.
By the end of the day, we'll have our beer goggles on, ready to go.
If you keep it in between the walls, you're safe.
Yeah. I always say keep the sunny side
No.
up. That's what I say. But
They're definitely excited about that because Aiden sat in it and he smiled from ear to ear.
good. Well, that's
So-
cool. That's what it's about. And see now, what we were just talking about, you're starting a new generation into
Right.
these cars. So, and you're not going to get ever another 67 Firebird.
Oh,
they're
no.
not going to ever make that car again. So,
It's
and
a shame.
it is a shame, but you know, and it doesn't matter if it's a 67 Firebird or a 70 Chevelle Super Sport. It don't matter. They're not going to build them again. You know, they're going to do these replica knockoffs with the newer Camaro or whatever. But you know, and one good thing too is another reason that this is going to get even more popular is think about this. The aftermarket companies are probably going to step up because we're going to start manufacturing more in the United States, which is going to increase jobs and things in the United States, and it's going to increase the quality of the product. And we might and they're going to, I think they're going to get rid of most of the EPA. So now we don't have emissions anymore. So we don't have to worry about if we title it as a 2025 anymore because we don't have to meet all them emissions laws.
Right.
So there's a lot of good things going on right now, guys. I'm telling you, this could not be a better time.
I do believe that he did sign in some things about the emissions just recently. So
Yep, they're getting rid of all that bullshit with the DEF fluid for the diesels. They're getting rid of all that shit, so you can delete things off of there. They're realizing that, you know what, they're hampering the car's ability to be efficient.
right,
So you know what, if you can make a car more efficient, it's going to get lower emissions.
exactly. I mean, not to touch a different story, but I mean, my truck, I'm getting twice as much miles and efficiency out of it with everything deleted.
Right.
I went against the EPA, but guess what?
Well, they're going to allow that now, so I think that's going to be a really, really good thing.
But how can you allow that when you're commercial, but then if you're just nobody, residential?
Because
you know?
commercial pays.
Well, the thing of it is, if you delete your truck, what are they going to get from you? You know, you probably owe on your house. You probably owe on your vehicle. You know what I mean?
Only $100 for tags when they cost
and you're
$1,000 a year.
and you're
for
working a
commercial.
9-to-5 job. But you know what? A company like Summit Racing, you know, they're a multi-billion-dollar company, and if they f up, then guess what's going to happen?
All right.
What happened to our screen here?
It's Zoom telling me that we've
Ended.
yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. So so I think that the pro touring and the resto mod thing is the way to do it. Only because the fact that people are wanting to drive their cars now, they don't want to be trailer queens, and that's cool. And we're still gonna, don't get me wrong, we're still gonna have the concourse cars, the guys that want to restore them completely factory original, blah blah blah, and good for those guys. I think that's awesome, and I still do that kind of work even at my shop. Not what I'm into, but I'll do it, you know, and I like doing the restoration on those cars, but I'm not into letting it sit in a trailer or sit in the garage all the time. I am into driving it, and that's what I like about the pro touring and resto.
I think that was the downfall about the car show. I'm not a still person.
Yeah.
Let's go to the racetrack.
Yeah. That's the other part too. You know, I go crazy at a car show. I can't sit still. I literally was going crazy this weekend. I don't like to sit on my butt. I can't do it. So even like right now, I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm moving all over the place.
Right.
I'm just not that guy.
We're ready for race season, so we need to get this engine in this race car.
Yeah, I got it. I'm a doer. I'm not a sitter. So I like to move.
Randy French says he'll bring the car over tomorrow to do it.
Randy, we can do that, buddy. But the thing of it is, you don't like that number I showed you. And that's okay. I get it. And, you know, the thing of it is it doesn't matter if it's a Le Mans or if it's a just a plain Jane Camaro or a regular Chevelle. It doesn't even have to be a Malibu, just a Chevelle. These cars, when you resto mod and pro tour them, the value goes up with what you spend on them. So, because think about it, just because it's a '67 Le Mans, we'll say, if you spend 150 grand on it, you're not going to be able to duplicate it for any cheaper. So, if you want that car, you like that look, there's people out there that'll buy them. A lot of guys say, well, it's only Le Mans. Nobody will buy it. Yes, they will. I see it all the time. I'm going to do 2 of them this week on plain Jane cars, and they're both going to be high dollar value cars.
Right.
Well, I mean, this car, the way it sits right here, is almost 15 grand.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous,
this
but-
used to be a parts car when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I bought these for $50 and parted them out.
Well, old school. It's funny that we said about the burner cars. Is the old school twist said my son was into Fast and Furious until we went and drove my '68 Le Mans home, and he said, "Screw those tuner cars."
I want horsepower.
I like that.
Yeah, I want
So,
horsepower.
well-
I want V8 American muscle is what I want.
Yep.
And that's what happened to my son, too.
He was weighing on the Toretto side.
So what happened was my son had a '84 Chevy pickup with a Pontiac engine in it. And the tranny was just jacked in that thing. It just couldn't hold up. 700 R4s, don't let anybody talk you into one of those behind a Pontiac engine. Yeah. And I'm sure I got somebody on here that's watching is going to tell me I'm full of shit, and I'm okay with that. But I'm telling you, they don't hold up behind a Pontiac engine. Nope. We tried everything, and I tried it several times, not just with my son, but with customers' cars too. They will not hold up. They're not going to. Unless you buy all billet internals and spend 15 grand on a transmission, which is foolish. Why would you do that?
Yep.
When you can put a turbo 400 in it and put a stall converter in, and you're good to go.
And then take that money and also buy vendor's overdrive.
Yeah, buy a gear vendor overdrive. You know, it's cheaper and it's going to hold up better, and you're going to have a better product. The only thing you don't get is a lockup converter. Okay, so what? You know, we don't build these cars for fuel economy anyway. It's nice. You know what? You hop in the thing and you want to cruise, an hour or whatever, and if you keep your foot out of it, and you can get 13 to 15 miles a gallon, good. But yeah, don't put a 700 R4 behind a Pontiac engine. They'll hold up behind small block Chevys. A lot of street rod guys use them.
Yep.
The guys with the coupes.
Yep. So. I will say that whenever I drove down to Mansfield, we drove down to Mansfield twice from here, so that's about a half hour, 45-minute trip. And with that truck, and I thought my gas gauge was broke because I drove down and back, and I was only at a half tank when we got back home the second time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll take that.
But you know what? My 68 Firebird, whenever I was in high school, I was drag racing that. Now, it had a 350 in it. It didn't have a 400 or 455, but it had a 410 gear in it. And I would drive that car to the track, which is Quaker City for me, which is about a 45-minute ride. This is roughly 40 miles one way. So we'll say 80-mile round trip. And I would make maybe 5 or 6 passes down a quarter mile in that thing. And I would use, I don't know, right around a quarter tank of fuel. That's all I use.
Wow.
And I don't know
not today's economy because they screw with the damn fuel.
Well, yeah, the fuel probably was a little better for me.
I don't think that back then, did they have a winter fuel and a summer fuel?
No, they had dinosaur fuel. It's called Sinclair.
Hey.
Well, I have.
I just got that. I love you too.
They have additives that make winter fuel.
Oh, no. Today's
more.
fuel is way crappier. Way crappier.
It's insane because I could make a tank of gas go 2.5 weeks, and now come summer, week and a half.
Well, that's actually should be the opposite. They make it so it burns easier in the wintertime.
You think?
But yours diesel or
my
gas?
Diesel when I'm deleted and tuned and
yeah. Now I know about diesel. I've never ran diesel,
so it doesn't make sense because I'll run through it.
Now gasoline is the opposite. They make it so it burns easier in the wintertime, or the car won't run right.
Well, maybe it's because it's thicker in the winter because they do add a little bit thinner, so it kind
They
of
put
lasts longer.
ethanol, a little bit more ethanol in diesel.
I don't think they put ethanol in diesel.
Not ethanol?
I don't know.
They put some kind of alcohol in it to get the water out.
Yeah, they got to keep because I do. If they don't do it, I have to put my own additive in it.
What is in the additive though? I don't know. I've never ran a diesel.
It's some sort of alcohol.
Yeah, kind of burns the water off. I don't know how it does it, but
why they got like Lucas sells that fuel treatment for diesel that keeps it from gelling. They call it.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means. Probably freezing, but
yeah, the water will gel up and freeze. But
I was constantly.
I'm not a scientist, so
Earl's
keep me out
trucks.
of the fuel.
And I know that it said, is it ethanol alcohol or some sort of alcohol?
Really?
Yeah, it was one of the
I know
ingredients.
that some of the guys put automatic transmission fluid in there.
Now I put an additive every time I fill up. No matter what, I put an ounce and a half of additive every time, just to keep, no matter what, winter, summer. But they, the gas station do put their additives. So
Right. Like I said, I don't run diesel, so I don't do.
And they really need to bring back leaded fuel because I love the smell of that stuff.
No, leaded fuel's bad for you. That's one thing I'm glad the EPA did do is get rid of that lead.
I
fuel.
love the smell of it.
No, that causes too many birth defects and all kinds of stuff. So the lead,
Yeah,
getting the lead out of the fuel's good. I'm okay with that.
Smells
and there's
good.
other ways to increase octane besides lead. They did that only to get rid of lead. that was a bad thing they done. And I'm glad they got rid of the lead. There's other things that you can put in fuel to get the octane up. Foreign countries, Europe has, I think, 110 octane fuel at the pump.
Yep.
So
we're behind times.
yeah, we need to get that fuel here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the lowest grade they have over there is like 94.
I don't even know. All I know
I'll
is
have to
their
ask
octane.
Niels.
Their octane levels way higher than ours, and they buy it from the same damn places we buy it from. So why are they getting high tested? We ain't.
Right?
We're getting added water for the
we're getting the shit from them.
We're getting what's at the bottom of the bank.
Right, bottom of the barrel.
Yep.
Philip III said alcohol absorbs the water so it will burn.
Yep.
Well, the alcohol does, but I didn't think they put it in diesel fuel.
Well, so what's hot shot? So I imagine the hot shot, because I mean it's pretty potent. That's what I use is hot shot. So it has some type of alcohol or something in it.
Well,
It only takes an ounce and a half to put in every fill up.
Yeah, you're not putting much in.
It's to keep the injectors clean and keep it from gelling up. I know that.
I wonder if
but
it's like acetone or butane or something.
something
like that.
small, because I mean it's $20 and it lasts me probably about 2 months.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
Not into it. I don't know. But yeah, so you know what? Again, I appreciate all you guys stopped by the car show site at IX show. That was great getting to meet some of you guys and chatting, and a lot of customers too. I mean, I've been in business for 43 years, so, and of course, this is my backyard. This is my hometown, and we had a lot of people I knew stop by, so it was good. I mean, and that was fun. That was actually really good because I keep the doors locked at the shop, and the reason I do that is because if I don't, we get so many people that stop by, and I don't get any work done. We're bullshitting all day, and then guess what? Don's going to stay till freaking midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, get stuff done, and I'm already there till 8 or 9 o'clock. So I don't want to stay any longer. I'm done at the end. I'm done putting my 12, 14 hours in. I'm done. So I think that getting to get out to the shows, and I used to do swap meets all the time, so I got to meet and greet with all my customers at swap meets, and I don't do those anymore. Don't have time for them actually, and and the swap meets around here, I don't know where you guys are at, but the swap meets around here suck. It turned into nothing but a flea market. You got a bunch of Chinese junk.
there was a little bit in the corner back there, and I tell you what, they had some good stuff, but the prices were still.
Well, that's okay.
Swap.
I mean, if you can't find it, you got to pay for it. But
Right.
But the thing of it is when I went to swap meets, when you went to a swap meet, it was all old car parts. There was no, I don't know, wingman, huh?
Camera.
Oh, no wingman kites and rags and Chinese wrenches.
Right. Well, they had a little bit of mix of everything. Go ahead.
I'm good.
They had signs. They had.
And that's what happens. It turns into like a flea market.
Yeah. So I like. It was cool to see the car parts because there's some stuff that the boys like. What's that?
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to get Don over here because I know what it is, but I don't know what it's from.
Yeah. So and that's cool. You see this like fuel injection setups off a 57 Corvette or
Yeah,
stuff
but
like
even
that.
that stuff wasn't over there. They had a bunch of just crap.
Yeah, they had.
Yeah.
I seen some aluminum slots in the one guy's spot. And that's okay. Or fin valve covers from back in the day off an old Corvette or something. But yeah, that when I was going to swap meets, man, everything was it was stuff that you couldn't get in a junkyard anymore.
No.
When I grew up, we used to go to the junkyard. That's how we got our parts. And then swap meets come along, and then everybody started dragging out to the swap meets, and then that stuff started drying up, and for whatever reason, people hoard that stuff, and you just don't see it.
Yeah, people hoard that stuff.
Guess what? You're gonna inherit it.
Yeah, I know.
So get ready. What kind of questions we got going on? Anybody talking?
Not much. I mean, we just got some comments of European fuel and stuff, how they rate theirs a little bit different. So they're, we're underrated, but they're about the same. They're saying we're 93, but they're 98, but they're still 93. So
Yeah.
which that makes sense because that's just metric how they want to measure their
that could
shit.
be. That could be what it is.
So
And there's different ratings too. There's
Yeah.
a Ron, and then there's another one. I can't remember what it is, but that could be too. But yeah, and I got a customer. God love him. This guy went around to all our local gas stations, and he collected premium fuel samples from like Sunoco and
oh man,
Amoco and Speedway and BP and what's the other Shell and
Sitco back at that time.
No, I don't know if he did a Sitco or not. But all the local gas stations, he went around and got 93 octane out of all of them, and he sent it to a lab. I mean, this guy was anal about this, and he sent all the samples to a lab, and actually he sent 4 samples out to 4 independent labs, and he found out, believe it or not, that our fuel that's rated at 93 octane, most of it was 94 or higher. Some of it was as high as 97.
Wow.
Yeah, I was shocked.
No, the only thing I've tested is I know the speedways, they're okay. I've noticed that lately I've been going out of the way and getting it from Circle K.
Really?
It's given me 2 extra days, and I'm doing the same drive. I don't drive my truck. I drive the Jeep any other way. So the truck, I drive back and forth to work, same miles, don't change anything, and I'm getting a couple extra days out of it. It's weird, but
Yeah,
it's
it
like,
is
why
weird.
do we getting different fuels from different refineries?
It does seem weird to me because you know you would think that there's only a couple refineries and everybody buys it from the same one.
Right, but maybe they're
apparently not.
putting the different additives. I mean, you
That
never know.
could be, yeah. And you know what? Each one will require a different additive. So you know they got their own chemical mix, kind of like the DCI grape. We call it DCI grape on that Holland Donner car. So I wanted to call it grape Kool-Aid, but then I got a trademark infringement, and I'm not going to do that. So we just call it DCI grape.
Syrup.
Well, that's why the colors matches in the last 2 cars, right? The grape.
Yep.
Got the plum crazy almost. Though.
Yeah. Well, the other one is plum crazy, but it's our version of plum crazy.
What's the name gonna give that paint?
Which one? The other one we
the
did.
newest one that it doesn't really have a paint.
That one is DCI plum crazy.
There you go.
Yeah, that one's custom blend too. So, you know, that car, if he gets in an accident, he's gonna have to bring it to us because nobody else is gonna know what that car.
Well, it's gonna be a trailer queen.
No, he's gonna drive it. He said he's gonna drive it.
Okay.
He said if I can afford to build it, I can afford to fix it. Okay.
Well, there you go. So you're gonna be the #1 shop.
Yep, I like it.
Old School Twist wants to know the piston question they sent you the other day. The piston was 030 in the hole and had to go to 027 gasket and mill the heads 030 to get 943 off a 72 cc head.
Okay, run that by me again because I think I got lost somewhere there.
Right. There's a lot of numbers there.
Yeah. So the piston is 030 in the hole.
Okay.
Had to go to an 027 gasket.
Okay, so a thinner head gasket.
And he milled the heads to 030 to get a 9.43.
So he milled the heads 30,000.
Yes.
To get 9.3 to 1 compression.
Yes. Off of a 72 cc head.
Yeah, because them 72 cc heads are never 72 cc's. And that's hence the reason why NHRA and IHRA stockers and super stockers too always blueprint their engines because they're never what GM or Ford or Chrysler or whatever made them. And you know what? GM's bad. Some of the you know, like the Pontiac engines, typically the piston's like 25 to 28 in a hole. And but Chrysler's, they're like 60 thousandths in the hole. They're not even close.
Wow.
Yeah. So we ended up, all the Chrysler stuff that we do, we have to mill like 60 thou off the damn deck of the block.
Wow.
Get 0 deck on the piston.
Now, could you run a dome piston? Would that be a better option?
No, you want to run a flat top if you can.
Okay.
And the reason is because think about what's going on there. Whenever you have a dome, it interrupts the flame travel across the top of the piston. And the spark plug's on one side of it. So, you know,
Right.
it's kind of hard to ignite the fuel and get it to travel across the cylinder. So you want to definitely have a flat top or a dish, one or the other.
John Monin asked, can you do the 20 over 400 to be in the small block category at the drag week?
I don't know about drag week. I'm not sure what they got. I would think that see Pontiac, I call them mediums. You know, they're not a big block and they're not a small block. So it's a medium block, and I don't know how the drag week categorize that. I don't know if they do it by cubic inch or if they do it by, external physical appearance, because there is obviously a big difference between a big block and small block Mopar or Ford or Chevy. But Pontiac does not have an external difference in size. So you can buy a 326 or a 455 and they both look the same.
Dragweek has a 430 cubic inch max for small blocks.
So it goes by cubic inch.
For small blocks. So it must go for cubic inch, for any block. But
Yeah,
what would
so-
Pontiac be considered then? They
Yeah.
consider that a big block?
Pontiacs are medium.
I know, but what does a organization like Dragweek?
That I don't know. That's what we're discussing.
What does NHRA classify them?
They don't consider them a small or a big block. They just go by cubic inch and that IHRA and NHRA. And that may be what they're doing there at Drag Week too. It's probably a cubic inch thing. It's not a physical size. So as long as the cubic inches meet the requirement that they have for the rules.
Oh, Dragweek is displacement only for Pontiacs.
Okay, good. Yep.
So
that answers your question. So yeah, 30 over 400 is only a 406.
yeah,
So you could run that in the small block class.
which technically I think that's what mine is. My motor.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. You're a and so is Luke's. Luke's is a 406.
Okay.
I'm gonna bust Genie. He keeps on posting on his wife's phone. You're confusing the shit out of me. Come on, calm down. You got a PT Cruiser now. You're talking about Mopar here. That's like the worst you can get is the PT Cruiser. We call it a PT Bruiser.
PT Exploder.
Yes, that's the second term. So
I will
you're
say
killing
though,
me.
the styling on those are kind of cool though.
They are cool looking. I give it. You know what? Chrysler's got
They
good
did
looking
change,
cars.
Yeah, they do change it up, but he said it's a .300 in the hole. So
He
it's
says,
like,
"Don't crap on the
on it."
P.
Okay.
Point
Let me-
what? 300,000's in the hole? No, wait a minute.
Let me see you do a burnout. Come on.
I'm not talking about because sitting on flat tires and ruts. Yeah, put it on blocks like
Yeah,
all
we-
the other hillbillies do.
No, get back to your what is it? The Grand Prix that he has, the 3800.
Yeah,
Oh,
wait,
yeah,
wait,
whatever
wait a
happened to
minute.
that?
Yeah.
You're going back and forth. You're confusing the hell out of me.
Well, Genie's, you know what?
I know.
That's his
you
alias.
multi-personality here.
Yeah.
Come on.
he might be psycho.
Already threw it away.
You already threw it away. Okay.
What, you got rid of your Grand Prix?
What'd you get throw away? Which one?
I hope not the Grand Prix.
No.
That's a cool car. That's a blown car. That is. No, you don't want to get rid of that.
The
No,
PT.
the PT. Okay,
good.
you did a good choice.
Yeah, very good choice.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, Philip, I'll tell you what, you're rocking it.
Did you get any money for the PT? So okay, you got a little bit, then you're.
So what is he doing? How's he go to town to get groceries now? Has he got a little red wagon? He just walks to the
He's
store?
got a Corvette.
He said he takes the other.
Oh, that's
car, and
right. He did
says
buy
he
a
takes the
Corvette.
vet.
Yeah, that's right.
How much groceries can you fit in the vet? He said he fits girls in there, but we don't want to say that to the wife.
Well,
He did say it, but
yeah.
you're using her
You're talking
phone.
about our wives, yeah.
She can check that phone history.
No, that his wife's phone's still here, but she unfortunately is not. So, but yeah,
Okay, so the vet.
The Prix needs an engine rebuilt again. Didn't he just rebuild it?
Oh boy, no.
oh no,
the last
the
time we
oil
talked.
sending unit blew out or
Yeah.
something, and he blew all the motor oil or engine oil out of it.
So how much can you fit in the vet? Some
lot.
milk, some
Hey.
eggs, and some beer.
A lot.
Well, that's all you need is beer.
The main course.
Yeah, exactly.
You can fit a lot in a vet.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's the first I've heard that. So now I'm understanding the mix.
The genie and the film.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good
I
night,
love
old
it
school
though.
twist.
It's understanding now.
Old school twist says it's the wife's birthday. Can't ignore her all night.
Ah, so you got to rock, huh?
Yeah, old school twist. Yeah, you have a good night.
Yep.
Wife's birthday. Yeah, it's our anniversary, so I'm stuck here.
Yep. He's
What's
better
your
off here.
anniversary this
Yeah.
weekend?
14 years.
Yeah,
So
good for you.
we're gonna celebrate this weekend. So
Yeah, well, good for you guys. I hope that April 18th doesn't fall on a Wednesday night because that's my anniversary.
yeah, well, she's understandable. So
What's the date today? Today's the 2nd.
Yes.
So a week from now it'd be the 9th. And a week from that, oh, good, 16th. I'm in good shape.
you're in good shape. Day after, day before, right?
Yeah.
Day after.
Yeah, yours is on a Friday night.
Ah, perfect.
No, she's like,
Yep.
I'm just gonna go home. I'm gonna fall asleep and go to bed. So I'm like, all right.
My wife's very understanding. She has to be. I've been in business 43 years, been married 43 years, and she's still with me. It's hard to believe.
It is.
Well, YouTube is definitely having issues, so it's not just on our end. So it's not.
What, somebody saying they're still
He
not
said
hearing
he's
us?
not. He's having issues on his phone. So I
But
get
he's
it.
been having issues trying to get onto his name.
Well, it's even worse tonight then, because we're across the board.
Yeah, yep. We had a lightning storm here.
John Ma's been married for 28 years, but the odds of him hitting 30 is 50-50 at best.
Come on. I got to tell you, I don't know how many women are watching tonight, and I apologize ahead of time for how stupid I
Oh,
am.
boy. Here we go.
Hey, we deal with them; they deal with us, right?
Here we go.
Well, the thing of it is, the women, they...
Hold on, can we edit this?
They go through the change of life,
Yep.
and when they do,
Oh,
they
we're bleeping it out. Sorry, ladies.
yeah.
Can't hear this.
We love the women.
That's right.
We do.
That's right. So
They put up
without
with
them,
us.
we wouldn't be us.
Yep.
You know what? They put up with us. We love them.
Yes, there you go. Good choice of words. We love you. We love you, ladies.
We love them. Yeah.
We get moments like this that we can have some time to bullshit.
Well, you know what? You got to have the guys' night out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of what this is.
This is our
the
guys'
night out,
and
man.
appreciate it because we're not no damn bar.
Yeah,
we're talking about
that's
cars.
right. That's exactly right. We're sitting here bullshit with other guys about cars,
Yep.
and that's what it should be about. That way, we're not chasing women.
That's right.
We're
How do
trying
you think I stayed married for 43 years? I ain't got time to chase
chasing
women.
car parts?
All right.
Well, that'll get you divorced too sometimes.
Yeah.
True. If you got a bad habit.
They gotta understand one way. They gotta understand you're gonna go broke if you don't get
One
the right
way or
one.
the other, you're going to go broke.
Yep.
Yep. A girlfriend calls you go broke, a
Yeah.
car calls you go
Now,
broke.
now my wife's saying weird. Cut your losses and start.
Oh, boy.
Uh,
Oh, you better get her Dairy Queen on the way home.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. So, well, it's 8:00. So what are
Yep.
we doing, fellas?
All
Well, we're
right.
going to wrap it up.
Yeah, we can wrap it up. Thanks for coming, guys, and thanks for hanging with us tonight. I tell
Yeah.
you what, we didn't anticipate the problems we were having, but
We'll
Yep.
get the interview.
I
and
completely just it all up.
yeah, that happens.
So
Well, it wasn't you. It was your router because it tripped and we didn't know it.
Well,
And the internet, right?
it was
now,
also
something-
the settings on this, and now that I know that I can't do it the way I want to do it, I have
we'll
to do more
toy around
research.
with it some
Yep.
more.
All right, we'll have to do more testing before we
Yep.
go live.
I have to do more test and tuning.
There you go.
Yep.
That's what we do. That's why we go to the racetrack.
That's right. So
All right,
that was the first
guys.
time we got to do Zoom with this new setup. So it really, I thought I had it figured out, and I didn't.
Yep. Good learning curve.
Yep.
All right.
So it all ended well. We got to bullshit a little bit, hang out, and Evan we might come back tomorrow night, guys. So if we do, watch for your alert for the live.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, everybody. Well,
right.
have a good night. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you maybe tomorrow.